The music of African Americans has influenced the entire pantheon of American music, from blues to folk to country to rhythm and blues and rock and roll. But sometimes an important voice was silent for long periods of time. That is the story of Elizabeth Cotten, who was mostly unheard and unknown for years. Elizabeth Cotten was born Elizabeth Nevills on January 5, 1893 in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. She was raised in a musical family and first played her brother's banjo before she purchased a Sears and Roebuck guitar from McDade's store on Franklin Street when she was 11 with $3.75, when she only earned 75 cents a month. Elizabeth Cotten was left-handed but played the guitar strung for a right-handed player by turning the guitar upside down. This meant that the top strings were on the bottom and the bottom strings were on top, as she played the bass lines with her fingers and the melody with her thumbs. This unique finger style later became dubbed Cotten Picking. During her early teens, she began writing songs including Freight Train, which became a timeless song recorded by Peter, Paul and Mary, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, His Name is Alive, Doc Watson, Taj Mahal, Chet Atkins, Grateful Dead, Mike, Peggy, and Pete Seeger, and Gary Clark Jr.
Freight train, run so fast. Freight train, run so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm gone.
In 1910, she married Frank Cotten and gave up her guitar playing after they had a daughter, Lily. Over the next 20 years, the Cottens owned homes in North Carolina, New York City, and Washington, D.C. For 25 years, Elizabeth gave up playing the guitar publicly except for occasional performances at church. Fate had a way of bringing her back into music where her talents were recognized and acclaimed. However, at home, her family always enjoyed her playing well into the night. Elizabeth worked all her life, putting her many skills to work to overcome obstacles and to face each new phase of her life with optimism. Proof of her progressive, uplifting nature really showed through when she began a new career in music at the age of 70. Elizabeth was working in a department store when she saw a young girl who had gotten lost from her mother. Cotten helped the girl find her mother. That girl was Peggy, daughter of composer Ruth Crawford Seeger of the famous Seeger family. Charles and Ruth Seeger hired Elizabeth to work as a nanny. Penny, the youngest daughter, could not say Elizabeth and nicknamed her Libba. The Seegers were a musical family who often played at home. This led Libba to teach her music to the children. Son Mike Seeger recognized Cotten's talent and taped her playing. That tape became Cotten's first album, Folk Songs and Instrumentals with Guitar, that was released on Folkways Records. She toured with Mike, which led to the folk community recognizing her unique talent. Elizabeth Cotten performed with artists Mississippi John Hurt, John Lee Hooker, and Muddy Waters during the folk revival of the 1960s. She performed at the Smithsonian Festival of American Folklife, appeared with Muddy Waters at the Newport Folk Festival, and toured the USSR with Taj Mahal. Elizabeth Cotten's career continued into her 90s, and in 1984, she won a Grammy for Best Ethnic or Traditional Recording for her album Elizabeth Cotten Live, released by Arhoolie Records.
Every time, when I say that, I want y'all to say it. When I say, oh Lord of me, everybody can say, shake, sugar, read. Everything I got is in pawn.
She lived in Syracuse, New York until her death on June 29, 1987, at the approximate age of 103. She was named a living treasure and has a park and statue in her honor in Syracuse. 2 years after her death, in 1989, Elizabeth Cotten was named one of the 75 most influential African American women in the documentary I Dream a World.